And today is a cue card question that you're supposed to be answering, which is the question is you're going to talk about a cake that you received on a special occasion. You should say what occasion it was and what kind of a cake you received and who was there with you and explain why this occasion was special. So you could start speaking.
I received a cake. The occasion was it was my uncle's wedding, so we attended there. It was in Zimbabwe, Harare, the capital city, and it was about 2 months ago. It was his wedding. He was getting married, and they were having like a carrot cake. So I was there with my family, my sister, my mother, and my brother. So we were just there all together as a family and gathered there at the wedding. And uh, this this occasion was a bit special for us because it had been a long time while for our family, the entirety of our family. We hadn't met in a long time. So meeting at such an event like a wedding, it was very good and very refreshing for us and all of us just to be in the same place, just celebrating life and celebrating the achievements of our uncle and welcoming a new member into our family. So it was just all wonderful and great. Uh, it was just amazing to be able to spend time with your family at such an occasion.
So thank you so much. So you managed to speak for 1 minute 7 seconds. Ideally, when it comes to your IELTS exam, you are expected to speak for at least 1 minute 40 to 50 seconds at least, if not on the dot 2 minutes. All right. When it comes
All
to
right.
your speaking, when it yes, before you start to answer these, main topic questions, we would request you to give us, an introduction as to how this probably this event started. So that introduction or additional information related to the main topic. So start with an introduction and then get on to the body paragraph. That is, get on to answering these questions and later conclude. So that way, if you follow the structure, you will have good amount of content to speak on, and you could also take care of your time. When it comes to lexical resource, you have used words like very good, very refreshing, welcoming, wonderful, amazing. So you haven't repeated any words. I would appreciate you for that. You could use very good connectors and conjunctions as well so that you can get at least close to 8.5 band. It is a cake walk for you. The pronunciation is very clear. Your thought flow is very good. So you have used connectors like and so in one of the sentences. So we could be using, although, though, moreover, in addition to all of these as well, too,
All right.
in order to fetch good marks. Okay. All the very best.
Okay. Thank you.
RK, if you're ready to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
The question is you're going to talk about a cake that you received on a special occasion, and you will have to say what occasion it was and what kind of cake you received and who was there along with you. And you're going to explain why that particular occasion was special to you. All right? Your time starts now, dear.
Nowadays, the ways of celebration changed a lot. People like to cut a cake on every occasion, whether it is a big or small. In my life, I also cut so many cakes on my birthday. And last month on my birthday, all my friends are gathered at my home to celebrate my birthday, and I was very happy on that day. And in the evening time, when we all are ready to cut the cake, suddenly some children came to my home, and they had a beautiful cake with them, and they start a birthday song for me. And that make me very made me cry, because their innocence attracted me. And the special thing, they cake they bake a cake at their home especially for me. Actually, actually in my free time I used to teach them, and they all are loving and innocent. um, and also enjoy their company. So all of my friends and family members were very happy to see that kind of things. And so um, uh, at that time I also feel that feelings or feeling and emotions of givers are matter rather than their instead of the price. So this was the cake that I like the most, and it is very special for me. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, dear. Thank you so much. You managed to speak for 2 minutes, 5 seconds. The time was okay. So, what we need to take care of is the first two sentences that you started off with. That is, nowadays changed a lot. When you're talking about any change that takes place over a period of time, please use present perfect tense. Sentence structure, dear. Okay, then you have also used a phrase or sentence that is, I have cut a lot of cakes until date. So that is again a present perfect tense sentence structure. So when you're not mentioning when an action took place, please use this. It is going to add to your score. So I appreciate that you have tried using this sentence structure. All right. Next thing is we will take care of, a bit when it comes to past tense here, like gathered, enjoyed, felt instead of feel. I'm going to be using the word felt. So probably here and there, not every word. And then when we talk about singular plural, children is itself a plural word. I do not have to be using children's, irrespective of the number. Child is one, children plural. Now, when I have to use apostrophe s along with children's, I should have a noun followed by it, an ownership, like children's school bag, children's lunch box. So I should have a noun followed by it. Today you managed to use, vocabulary was okay. You use words like beautiful, innocent, attracted. You also tried the rather than sentence structure as well. So we appreciate that. So we will take care of present perfect tense, past, a bit when it comes to conjunction. If you could add conjunction, it is going to add a lot of value to your speaking there. Thank you so much. You managed to speak for 1 minute, 48 seconds. So, which is acceptable kind. All right. So you started, your speaking was very narrative, let me tell you. We could picturize, when you were explaining things. Your vocabulary was up to the mark. You had all these, speaking or actions in sequence. So we could understand it very clearly. Only suggestion that I would, put forth is please use connectors. Like when there are too many actions, you could say, firstly, this is what happened. Later, next, after which. You could add those sequence connectors, first thing. Next thing is add here and there at least two or three conjunctions. Like even though I scored so and so, although my granny, prepared or baked this cake at home, it was still, great to taste. So you're going to be adding at least two or three conjunctions as well to boost your score. So I just have these two suggestions at the moment. So all the very best.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. It was my birthday, 2020, when I visited home. It was for quite some time. I didn't visit home. It was like 6 years without seeing my family. And the day that I arrived home, it was my birthday, and there was a surprise for me. I found a very big cake. It was a 3-tier cake with vanilla cake on top, red velvet, and fruit cake. It was very nice. There were lots of family members, my cousins, my brothers, my aunties, my friends, all of them that were there. Um, it was special occasion for me because it was quite some time I didn't see my grandkids. I didn't see my mother and my father. So for me, it was very special. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. You managed to speak for a minute, 6 seconds. So you were going good, let me tell you. When I compare your speaking with that of yesterday's, very
Yeah.
short sentences, but today you were, you had good amount of content. You started
Mm,
explaining or speaking in sequence. It's been like
mm,
6 years since I have got in touch with my family or probably seen them personally. And then you got on to explain as to that occasion, what it was. Surprise. The word surprise, special were repeated there. So let's avoid that. Let's have similar words instead. So let's add some more content to it. Let's have some conjunctions into it so that you can fetch good marks.
All right.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
You managed to speak for a minute, 28 seconds. So we could extend further.
Okay.
All right. You started off with, explaining the same in sequence with what your birthday it was and your friends, talking about your family. You described the cake, how presentable it was. And then we have used words like amazing couple of times. Very nice. So we could, work on the lexical resource there. Instead of very nice, we could use words like pleasant, fascinating, you could be using those words which is
Pretty.
going to add on to your score. Next thing, yes dear, next thing is, apart from lexical resource, request you to add some connectors like, firstly, I got home at so and so time, and secondly, my friends were there waiting for me, I didn't know what was the occasion, probably I thought no one remembered the occasion. Like that we could, cook up some story as well so that you could add some content to it. Conjunction. So these are the three things. If you could focus on, dear, you are sure to get a good mark.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. It was last year, June, on my birthday. That's when I received this beautiful cake. It was a true tire cake, a vanilla cake with blue stars on top of it. And I was surrounded with my family and my colleagues. But most importantly, I also found my friend, my childhood friend, whom I last saw 15 years ago. Also was also there with them celebrating my birthday. Since this was my first birthday, since this was my 21st birthday, and the cake was decorated with my favorite color, which is blue. And I was not expecting this. So I was not expecting this, that my family would surprise me with this cake. And also, it was my first birthday party ever since I was born. I had never had a party. That's why I found this occasion to be more special.
You managed to speak for 1 minute 14 seconds. You were going good. So you could have added some more content to it. As I keep stressing, dear, when it comes to IELTS, you have a provision to cook up stories. So you can cook up stories, probably parties that you have been to, stories that you have read, or your friends' parties that you have witnessed. You can add all that additional information so that you have good amount of content to suffice for that, 1 minute 50 seconds or 2 minutes rather. All right. Okay. So you started off with intro, and then you explain the cake, and you have answered all the questions and why it was special as well. You have used connectors like since, also ever since I was, born. So it was very special to you. So we will use some connectors in conjunction to your speaking and add some additional info there. That's all at the moment.
Thank you so much.
I would like to talk about a cake which I received on a special occasion. In my, I would say, as a child, my parents used to make my birthday as a special occasion every time. My family, my cousins will come on my birthday. But now, as I am old, um, we always celebrate with my family. My birthday is a special occasion every time. They will try to make a cake for me. This time, this cake was so beautiful. I could think it was a real handbake. It was a cake which was a real handbake. Uh, Little did I know that it was a cake. It was just a nice silver with studs on it. The moment when I cut it, I saw a beautiful cake which was so fluffy inside, a red velvet mixture of vanilla. It was yummy tasting. my family were there to celebrate with me my 40th birthday. So it was a special occasion for everyone to be there with me for starting a new life. What they say, life begins at 40. But in future, would love to have a wedding cake, which I'm going to design, maybe a 40 on it, a cream, the color will be cream with gold outside, with chocolate inside. Hope my family will be there on my wedding and my friends. That's all I can say. Thank you.
You have answered all the questions. So, vocabulary related to description of a cake was good. Connectors or modal verbs like would, could, those words also is going to add on to your score. So, that's we appreciate. We used one connector, that is but. So, we will use, here and there one or two more connectors, and we will avoid repetition of phrases or words, dear, like words like beautiful, occasion being repeated multiple times. We could instead use similar words. That's the only suggestion, dear. So all the very best. So occasion was birthday. So when it comes to, I think we need to focus a bit on past tense, dear, that is grammar. I am
Okay.
surprised. No, you're going to talk about the past. This action of
I
yours is already completed. So you're going to say, I was really surprised.
okay, ma'am.
So we will give some additional info before we start speaking, dear.
Okay, ma'am.
All the very best with the preparation.